Well, ladies and gentlemen, 17 rounds, 83 games, and it has all been reduced down to this one. Now, for the geographically minded of you, we're zooming in on Topsham, but a late change in venue brings us up to main site at the University of Exeter for a title-deciding bout between Exeter and Cardiff. Kickoff coming live at 2:30. Well, hello and welcome everybody. As I mentioned, a late change in venue because Topsham is underwater brings us up to the Rubber Crumb on the main site here in deepest, darkest Devon, where Exeter are vying to be back-to-back league title champions. Victors last year, pipped in the knockout, but they're looking to take the crown once more and build a platform for those playoffs that are on the horizon. And another side who's in the conversation is Cardiff, and we are joined on comms today by Owen Davies, the Cardiff University captain, who unfortunately was injured last week, took a knock, but is our gain because we've got him in the commentary booth and he's going to be giving us some wisdom and expert analysis on what is a crucial game for Cardiff, the new boys in BUCS Super Rugby.
Yeah, that's right. We've come a long way from the start of the year, and I think today, obviously, if we can get a point, I think that secures our top 8 finish and into the playoffs. But I think for us, it's more focusing on how far we've come from the start of the year. That first win took a while to come, but then since that we've only lost one since Christmas, so we're just looking to maintain that form, and then hopefully we can carry on that into the playoffs, and who knows then? Who knows?
Well, we're going to come on to Cardiff's glorious season a little bit more, seeing as we've got Owen with us today, but let's take a look at the BUCS Super Rugby League table. Now, it has been a whirling dervish of a season with the table in constant state of flux. Interest aplenty across the board today, with Trent at the bottom looking to back up last week's astonishing 43-41 win over Northumbria to avoid the relegation playoff roulette, something that Cardiff have handsomely avoided. Loughborough are the only ones who can be dragged into the mire, who themselves have their sights on 8th place. Now, the middle order melee, it is too close to call. Northumbria, Beckett, Durham and Met all fighting for seeding. And then the formula is simple. Win today and the title is theirs, and they make a bit of history by being back-to-back winners. But looking at your side, Owen, Cardiff, could you have envisaged at the start of the season, even halfway through the season, that you'd be in 8th spot and you'd be in with a shout of getting on the road to Twickenham in that quarter-final, probably against Exeter if Exeter to finish top?
Yeah, it's a great season. I think we were speaking at the start of the year, and we realised how much of a big step up it would be coming from the Prem A then into the BUCS Super Rugby. It's a great standard of rugby, and I've really enjoyed playing it. And you know, credit to the boys that the hard work started back in July. Like I said, it took a while to get our first win, but as soon as that happened, I think we got a bit of confidence, and we've just kicked on from there. And I think, you know, it's a real credit to the boys, the work we're putting in behind the scenes, and the group of boys that we have, unreal group of boys. So I think that's helped us as well.
I think that seems to be a recurring theme amongst all the teams in BUCS Super Rugby. Very player-led, you know, defined leadership groups dragging all the others up along. I know you've got a number of third years in your team. They'll be graduating this year, so this season must mean so much to the lads who've taken Cardiff into BUCS Super, but then also maintaining the position and the prestige of being here. Yeah,
definitely. There's nothing quite like it. I think I've played quite a bit of rugby, but nothing has come close to this in terms of, you know, team sort of spirit and team togetherness. You know, you play with. I'm playing two of the boys today, Luke Waller and Alex Everett. This is my 3rd year living with them, unfortunately for them. But you know, these are the sort of bonds you create, and you don't get that in any other rugby club. I'm sure it's the same across all the other universities, but this is a pretty special group, and you know, that there's nothing quite like it.
Well, there are the round of fixtures that we have on our hands today. Clearly, we're here in Exeter for 1st versus 8th, a massive, massive game that could determine the direction of the trophy. The trophy's down here with us. We're not looking to tempt fate, but could we be presenting it to Exeter later this afternoon? One of the teams chasing them hot is Bath. They host Loughborough at the STV at 6:30 this evening, whilst Durham host Cardiff Met. 5th versus 4th. As I said, that melee so difficult to untangle at the moment, with teams beating each other left, right and centre. That's at 6:30 from Hollow, Drift and Hartbury. The old enemy of everybody in the league, the Manchester United, who always seem to come good at the end of the season, host Nottingham Trent, who are really fighting for their survival. Currently sitting in 10th. If they were to lose today, they would be in that relegation playoff that will be played against the winner of the playoff between the North and South Leagues, which I think is either being played today or maybe next week. I'll check that for you at home. And then finally, on Friday, it's up at Kingston Park, Northumbria, against Leeds Beckett. Leeds Beckett in a rich vein of form, losing habitually all in the first half of the season. Now they cannot stop winning, apart from a quite sensational draw against Cardiff Met a few weeks ago. Looking at the recent results for Exeter, because we must talk about them. They are mechanical in this league in the way they accumulate points, score tries and put teams away. As you see there, a huge winning streak. Nottingham Trent, Cardiff Met twice, Hartbury away in that phenomenal 45-21 win that we brought to you down the stream, followed up by Loughborough 31-5 against the old enemy. But this is the concern for the men who support people in green and white hoops. Durham and Bath, a couple of slip-ups, 28-31 in their varsity match at Sandy Park. A surprise loss, though Durham are a team who can play, and they beat them up at Hollow Drift earlier in the season, while Bath really put Exeter to the sword, 21-34, EURFC leaving with no bonus points. Now, Owen, you played Exeter earlier in the season. You were a newer side, you're a more developed side, but what is it that Exeter bring to the party? What makes them so good and always the team to beat?
It was two things that we came up against when they came up to Llanrumney. The first thing, which they were really good at, we found really difficult to stop, was their driving maul. So any penalty we gave away in the middle of the park, they usually had a 10 who could kick into the corner quite well, and they set up a good driving maul. They had a really good platform from that, and I think they scored a few tries from that up at Llanrumney. The second thing is they like to play a wide game. They've got good handling across the team, 1 to 15, and usually they can play wide, and that really stretches teams and defences.
Okay, well, with that in mind, obviously the game is upon us. The teams are just heading in, final team talks, but we caught up with your coach, Alan Wynne, just before the game. Alan Wynne, great to have you on our screens, as always. Now, other than Leeds Beckett, I dare say you're the form team in the league. Could you have imagined yourself being in this position at the start of the season?
That's a difficult question. We looked at the season in two parts. So the first part of the season was, like we spoke about previously, was just to build into the season. We had a target of 15 to 20 points at the start of this first block before Christmas. We achieved that. Second block, we were hoping to kick into third, fourth gear, and by the looks of it, we've achieved that. So I'm massively proud of the guys.
Does that alter the mantra in the minds of the boys? Because it's one thing to be plucky underdogs, but it's another thing to have expectation weighing on your shoulders.
I don't think we have expectations as a group. I think we have an expectation to perform, and we'd like to think that if we do perform, that should look after the result. I know it's an old cliche, but we certainly look at that. We do play a different brand of rugby to other teams in the competition. I dare say the Exeter crowd are very similar to the Bath crowd. I mean, it's tops off mauling and see what happens. I mean, but we don't. We try to play an expansive game. That is very much player-led, and as you said, if the players don't believe in what you're trying to do, they're not going to buy into it. So that's the reason we've gone for that tactic. So.
Well, the belief is there for all to see. Now, you've secured your survival for next season. You're in 8th position, pole position. You need 1 point to guarantee you going into the playoffs. If you were to fall short, what would be your reflection on the season as a whole?
Objective achieved. That is first and foremost, like I spoke last week on an interview. It's a byproduct of us getting to the quarterfinals, which is fantastic for the guys. That wasn't our objective this year. Our objective was to come in, settle into the season, stay up, which we've done it with a game in hand, so which is brilliant for the guys. I say that am I going to be honest to say that we did it before the game in hand? No, I thought it was going to come down to the last game, but certainly think that we've taken control of our own destiny. We spoke about that last week, and again, I'm saying it quite a lot at the moment, we are rowing our own boat. So if we do pick up a point today, which is great, but we've come here to win. So it's you can't just say you come for a point. So let's see if we can spoil the party.
Well, with that victory in mind, it's a long time since you played Exeter. I think it was back in October you picked up that loss. Now, your season has been defined by your ingenuity of play, but I've just seen you scrummaging down with your forwards yourself in the mix. Do you think that you can match the forward might that Exeter are famous for?
They're very good at it. Keith Scott, the guy's well drilled from an attacking maul perspective. We did really well against them at home with our scrum. Our scrum, we're undersized, but we've had a dominant scrum in this league. I think it was just the one time up in Leeds away where, well, let's be honest, those guys are big old boys, aren't they? So that was a different team. But then when we played Leeds at home, we had 2 pushover tries against them. So again, this league is absolutely bonkers. You don't know what's going to, and that's why I spoke to you just before we came on live. It's going to go either way today. I don't really know. So we've prepared for this differently. We had a weekend off. We're very relaxed. We've achieved what we wanted to do, but the guys still have got a hunger to come down here to get a W. And as well as that, if we get 1 point, again, we control our own destiny for this quarter-final, which is potentially, if we do beat them, could be Bath. So it's you just don't know how it's going to look.
It's a tasty old league, isn't it? Now, you speak about the hunger for the W. You've got a number of players who are in their 3rd year. They're going to be graduating this year. Do you feel that passion for the jersey, that every game is almost their last, is really propelling you forward as well?
Yeah, I think we spoke last week about that Nottingham game being a pressured game. It was a massively pressured game. The rugby wasn't. It was probably for the purists, I guess, but it was full of bags of passion. And yeah, I agree with you. A lot of those guys, that was their last game in Llanrumney, which is it's an acquired taste, that place. But for our guys, it's very much home. And yeah, I certainly think that is. These guys have potentially got this game plus a quarters, who knows, semis, and they've got either the final or the debate of either the final or the varsity, which is, yeah, unsure. But yeah, I agree with you that has propelled them to a certain level. But as a group core, we've got a good mixture of guys. We've got about 8 guys leaving next year. The rest of guys we've forced the blood in this year, so hopefully it puts us in a good place for next year.
Can't wait to see you out there today, Alan Wynne. All the best.
Great, thanks mate, cheers.
In shot at the moment, but the roar will tell you that the green and white hoops of the Green Machine are on their way. But let's talk you through the teams quickly. Now, Cardiff, there is an awfully familiar feel to Cardiff as Alan Wynne stays loyal to the men who've excited and overachieved all season. Charlie Died has big boots to fill in the absence of injured Rod Wall at 13, but he is surrounded by a cohort of try scorers. 23 between Williams, Thomas, Roberts and Ramage tell you all you need to know about the back division's try scoring potency. Tom Wilson leads the Welshman from 7 as he has played in every round of a season to remember. Exeter, very quickly, the title chasers, the history makers. They make surprisingly 2 changes from the side that were outplayed by Bath. George Chatterton drops out of the squad entirely to be replaced by the rumbustious Will Hollis at inside centre. He teams up with speedster Joe Elderkin, allowing lethal finisher Sal Mboj to make his 4th consecutive start in the 15 jersey. Kick loosely to him at your peril. As we finally get underway in this match that could determine the league champions and also that crucial final playoff place, as Harry Warbaum, the referee today, whistling in the middle, awards a penalty to Exeter in the opening seconds from the kickoff. Not the start that Cardiff would have wanted, Owen.
No, the boys have fired up and they're coming out of the blocks, but that's not the way we wanted to start, really. Taking the foot off the gas and allowing Exeter to exit at their will.
Controlled aggression. Bellies in the furnace, heads in the freezer, I think the old-fashioned expression goes, as we see Sam Morley in shot there, the marksman kicker. Lethal from the tee, but he's taken a punt and put Exeter up to the 10-metre line of the Cardiff half to launch their first attack of the game in the first minute.
Yeah, there's a forward in the 9 slot. There's the driving maul, which we expected, we talked about earlier on. It's a poor start, sacking a bit late.
Well, referee Harry Warbaum deciding there was some nefarious activity in that drive, but Exeter have rebuilt. They're taking the penalty advantage as they move it into the centre of the field. On they march. In between the 10 and the 22, Pierre Thompson has a dart, he fends, he goes through the gap. He looked to get out the back door, but he was wrapped up at the final moment, 20 metres short. Exeter on the charge through their back row. Number 6, Jack Rouse, back in the team to provide some meat and ballast to counter the big Welshman coming across the bridge. Thompson feeds it left. They're playing it out the back door to the hands of Charlie Davies. Steps inside, dragged down, 10 short now. Thompson goes route 1 to McMeekin on the charge. Exeter looking good. Hollis, we saw how he can carry against Hartbury when he ran over 2 men on his way to the line. Exeter need a bit of patience here.
Cardiff seem to regain their shape in defence now, and it's a good set. A couple of missed tackles there, but the shape is good from Cardiff.
They've reorganised. Exeter carry through Big Lasher, the Georgian under 20 second row. Mountain of a man. Morley finds Embauge. He steps inside. 5 metres short now.
That's the danger. Exeter offer going wide. Wide is so difficult to defend. You don't know which way they're going to go. They reorganise both sides of the pitch.
Well, now they revert to type. How many times have we seen Exeter University do this? Exeter Chiefs do this. Carry, erode the defence, wear them down, piece by piece, metre by metre. They're too short. They carry once more. Oh, painstakingly close, but they're by that treacherous post now. Looking to dot it down cheaply. Can they apply the finishing touch? Short once again, titanic defence from Cardiff. They regather themselves. Again, Exeter cannot find a way through. Brilliant defence from the Welshman.
Yeah, it's good to see everyone's hungry to tackle, which is important this early. Oh, he sneaks through there.
But Jack Rouse wriggles through the 2 tackles and finds his way to the base of the post to open Exeter's account for the day and make the score 5-0. 3.5 minutes played, a kick to come, an easy one at that for Sam Morley. And really, Exeter surgeon-like when they're 5 metres from the line, eventually slicing through and scoring the crucial opening try.
Yeah, it's difficult when Exeter are there. There's some big strong men, and they're not going to come away from there without getting some points. But it comes from 2 errors. From the kick-off there's a penalty, and then the driving maul will give away another penalty, which gives Exeter the chance to throw some risk and have a crack. And yeah, they've done well there to go through many phases. Great defence for phases, but they come away with a score.
It's quite a fascinating concoction that Exeter have. You mentioned how they move wide with their backs, but when they're in close quarters, they are so difficult to stop and they make so few errors.
Yeah, they're happy to go through phases. They're happy to keep the ball for multiple phases. And there we see that's another error which we talk about. We don't want to compound errors because that momentum that Exeter can get is going to be a very difficult thing to stop.
Errors compounded by more errors at the moment. Cardiff looking a bit rattled up here on the rubber crumb at main site at Exeter University. A vociferous crowd cheering on the Green Machine in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture brought to you by Yoti. 5 minutes played, Exeter 7-0 to the good. But coming off the back of 2 losses, 2 home losses at different venues. This their 3rd different venue in as many weeks. They lost to Durham at Sandy Park, Bath at Topsham. They're looking to change the record here up at main site as Pierre Thompson makes another dart. 9 tries to his name so far this season, and Exeter go wide through the hands. A big hit, but he bounces him, finds 5 extra yards. Tom Wilson, the captain of eventually dragging him down. But Harry Warbound sees yet another infringement. These penalties are killing Cardiff at the moment, Owen.
Yeah, we can't get any sort of foothold in the game. We haven't touched the ball yet, I don't think, but that's credit to Exeter and the way they're playing. The 9 for Exeter there is a big, strong runner, and rather unusual for a 9 to be the size he is, but that's for his game, that's really beneficial because he's a big, strong boy.
Yeah, very much carved out of the Mike Phillips mould, isn't he, Pierre Thompson? Not afraid of a dart down the short side at any stage. Very difficult to drag down as well. As we take a look at some of the substitutes available, plenty of firepower on both benches. Champing at the bit will be Ralph Marchant of Exeter. He's making a habit of scoring from the pine, while Adam Sabri, Cardiff, isn't shy of a try himself. But they can't do anything about this Exeter drive at the moment, which continues to eke forward. Thompson has the ball, passes it to Will Hollis, who makes a charge. He's so strong, looks at the offload, it goes behind, but Sam Morley picks it up. But the whistle has gone just a touch forward. I'd love to see that again. Will Hollis with the barging bust that he's so good at. And it was Joe Elderkin on his shoulder, the pass just behind him. I thought Morley had mopped it up. We see him there scoring in vain.
Again, it comes down to the driving maul. It's really difficult to stop. Cardiff have done well to stop that once it's got going and force Exeter to use it. But then again, they show the power that they have in the back line. Great footwork here to get through the tackle and great support lines.
Wow, that is almost a chance gone begging there. Overrun slightly by Elderkin, the 7 specialist speedster. Maybe needs to be in 3rd gear instead of 4th there to latch on to the pass. As finally Cardiff take a bit of respite, a penalty awarded and a chance to clear the decks and get a foothold in this game. We haven't seen them with the ball in hand at all in this 8 minutes.
No, that's 2 good scrums for Cardiff, and Cardiff will take some confidence from that. They know that they can deal with the scrum there, and that's a great kick by Owen to relieve the pressure there. Not only do we relieve the pressure, we can also launch a platform because that's such a good kick.
People often remark about the physicality in BUCS Super Rugby. Your scrum and your forward pack have really held their own in this league throughout the season.
Yeah, that's a massive focus of Al Wynn. He's a defence coach and a scrum coach by trade, so he takes pride in that. And there's a lot of freshers in there as well who've really stepped up. It's been brilliant.
Yes, Alan Wynn, very much a proponent of the upfront confrontational business of rugby. As I said in the warm-up, I saw him packing down with the forwards, 3-on-3 scrums. And he looked as hungry as the lads in the Cardiff jerseys as they launched an attack down the right wing. This is better from Cardiff. Muscular defence from Exeter.
Yeah, it's a very narrow pitch, but Cardiff looking to use it, go touchline to touchline. On some good hands, great support lines.
Lovely play, lovely continuity from the men from Cardiff, but fantastic breakdown work from Jack Rouse. He's been sitting on the bench the last couple of fixtures, desperate to get on and make an impact, and boy has he done so. A try so far and a key turnover to break up Cardiff's first real foray into Exeter territory.
Yeah, Gareth Ansell, lovely no-look pass there, sends the defenders past the ball, which gives the chance for Luke Warwick to go through. And then we're a bit behind there. We should be right up his backside there.
The Exeter bench there. An advantage point for Hayden Thomas, one of the Exeter coaches, former uni student, former Exeter chief. Now with his coaching hat on in his more distinguished years, shall we say. Exeter get clean ball off the top. The wind catches a hold of that. McMeekan tidies it up, and Elderkin does well. Struggles to roll away. It's slow ball for Exeter, so they go to Jack Capon this time. The economics student, not seen as much in an EURFC jersey as maybe they'd like, involved with the Bristol Bears. This is smart hands from Exeter. You mentioned it being a narrow pitch, but Exeter still finding the width time and time again. Big carry met with a massive tackle from Alex Everett.
Yeah, he loves those collisions. He'll have people running at him all day.
Salam Boj Makes hard yards. But his support play come off their feet. So that's an escape for Cardiff.
It is. It's a good defensive set. Cardiff look comfortable there. Exeter going wide, but Cardiff holding their shape really well. We talked about slowing the ball down of Exeter, and that's massive because we can sort our shape out there. But Exeter managing to get some decent ball. Cardiff not panicking yet.
Well, Owen Williams with another enormous clearance there. He's got a bazooka attached to that boot as he sends Cardiff up just shy of the Exeter 22 in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture brought to you by Yoti. Again, a fresh platform for Cardiff to attack. We saw some of the deft hands and footwork that they have to offer, but we see their drive now. Exeter counter furiously.
Yeah, Exeter done really well to stop that initially. Cardiff need to get that ball to the back and do well to do so.
Here we go. Hugh Roberts charges through. Now, out the back. That's nice hands. Stepped in from Marcus Ramage, the flyer, the Hong Kong international no less. His brother's sitting on the bench, ready to join him at some stage, no doubt.
Yeah, it's just better from Cardiff. Back into their shape. Some good clean ball for Josh Oakley to play away. Back into this shape. Good defence from Exeter though. He met with a brick wall every time he carry.
They do love their defence down here in Devon, but that's cute play. A grubber behind the defence, but Mboj cleans it up and sends a long reply down the field all the way into the dead ball area. If it keeps rolling, it's going to be a scrum all the way back. And that seems like cruel reward for a fine bit of play from Mboj. But that's the wind that we're contending with up here, and also the bounce in this 4G crumb.
Yeah, I think so. James Davis, good option there. Exeter's brick wall defence, hard to break down. It's a good option, and the fullback for Exeter there has covered it really well. And it's a great kick, unfortunately, on a small pitch with a lot of wind. That's really unfortunate for Exeter, but a good platform for us to go again.
Very much so. An attacking scrum for Cardiff. They want a penalty on their line from scrum time 5 minutes ago. As we see some of the support behind the cages here. And a chance for your replacement, Josh Oakley, to do a bit of key decision making. What does Josh bring in your absence, Owen?
Definitely. He's done really well as a fresher coming in. He's been a great on and off the pitch. He's a great boy. And he's really sharp around the fringes, really good hands. Good decision there to keep the ball in because the backs want to play, but it's a great scrum. That's good play from Josh.
Well, penalty advantage, clear to see. They're going to roll the dice. They go with a big long ball over the top. What a pass! It's a 2-on-1 and so easy for George Thomas. That's the expansive play from Cardiff we've come to know and love. They had a free shot, rolled the dice, and they've come up trumped with a response to take the score to Exeter 7, Cardiff 5, with the conversion to come.
Yeah, great. That's what I mean about the decision from Josh. When you get the advantage, then that's when you can throw the dice. And James Davis, I don't know where that's come from. I don't know, just plucked that one out. But it's a great pass over the top. He knows where his players are. Great support and great finish. George Thomas knows how to score. Well,
Charlie Dodd couldn't believe his luck. He didn't even know what to do. He had so much space and time, but he eventually gives it to George Thomas to register his 6th try of the campaign. As I said, 24 tries between the backs that were on show today. As we see Owen Williams try and judge the wind, but he smears that one across the uprights. And they trail by 2, but looking good after just their first real attack in this game.
Yeah, that's massive confidence booster for Cardiff. They haven't been in the game at all, really, but as soon as they get a platform, we've been pretty clinical all year when we get into the 22, so massive confidence boost.
Well, you can't underestimate the level of skill required to execute that long pass from James Davies in the windy, blustery, swirling conditions we have up here on main site. To pull a pass out of the bag like that so accurately still for Dyde to run onto. Eventually found George Thomas. Cardiff are here to play. I've come in for some heat for describing James Davies as a random play generator. Such is the invention that your team employs. We see Exeter looking to reply swiftly. Again wide in the left channel. They find Big Lasher with a carry. One try to his name, how he'd like to add to his account. Will Hollis, he is the Exeter banker in the centres, the cornerstone that many of their attacks are built on. A nugget taken forward but dealt with by the Cardiff defence, and Boge steps inside, doesn't get much purchase. Just outside the 22, it's the try scorer. Rouse has a carry, he's won a penalty. Exeter's chance to roll the dice. Can they do something with the free shot? Charlie Davies on the outside, pops up to Boge, who fights for a few more yards. 10 metres short. Oh, a lovely inside line there from Josh Peters, if only he could have been found. Cardiff infringing all over the place at the breakdown at the moment, but Harry Warbound brings it back. And Exeter replied just as they would have liked to.
Yeah, this is what we spoke about. We need to slow the ball down for Exeter because they're really dangerous when they get quick ball. But we've got to be careful not to give away penalties because Exeter's driving maul, as we've seen early on, it's a real weapon of theirs.
Exeter, all they need to do is win, but they certainly are not lacking any ambition. They turn down the easy 3 points, they go to the corner. They're going to look to build another drive as we see Charlie Davies, such a hard-working winger, cropping up all over the park at all times. We've seen him trail the inside ball off the 10 multiple times this season to be rewarded with a try. Pops up there to give Exeter the chance to go to the corner to win the line out. But the throw isn't straight and they'll be kicking themselves. A real coach killer for Keith Fleming and Exeter.
Yeah, it's a bit of a let-off for Cardiff, but I think that's credit to Cardiff that Exeter are going to the corner. I think they know that we can score points and we will score tries. So not taking the 3 there, I think they know they need to score some points to be able to win this game.
That's an interesting way of looking at it, because many would see turning down the 3 points as maybe showing not a lack of respect, but feeling that they can get the job done with tries. But you're saying that because Cardiff are known for scoring so many points, so many tries from all areas of the pitch, that teams need big scores to beat you.
I think so, yeah. I mean, all over this competition there's tries scored, and most teams, I think there's a lot of try bonus points through the year whether you win or lose. So I think Exeter know that Cardiff will score, so they need to get some points.
Well, yeah, you talk about bonus points. Exeter have played 17 games this season. They've got 15 bonus points. You yourself have 9 from your 17, so it certainly is a free-scoring league. I mean, we saw Northumbria fall to Trent last week, 43-41. Obviously, Northumbria were involved in the extraordinary fixture last year where they lost to Exeter 53-51 down here in Devon. So it's a league not short on entertainment, though these conditions certainly aren't usually conducive to such entertainment, Owen.
No, it's great to play, and like I said earlier, I've really enjoyed playing this standard rugby. It's a lot of boys that just want to play rugby, and they've got good skill sets as well, so it's really good.
Well, another Exeter line-out doesn't go to plan in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture, brought to you by Yoti. Cardiff with possession and carrying through Luke Waller.
Exeter bringing some good line speed there, forcing James into kick, but it's not a great kick. Straight out on the foot. Again, these are the errors that Cardiff need to cut out if they're going to stop and spoil Exeter's party today.
Bit of a panicked kick there from James Davies, but brought on, as you said, from the rapid line speed of the Exeter defence. They've got a line out that's under pressure at the moment. 2 throws that have gone awry consecutively. This is an important one for them. A trick play at the front makes it nice and easy for the thrower. Pierre Thompson feeding it wide, and Exeter now on the attack as Morley steps in out the back. He's forced that a little bit. Davies fly hacks through, and it's a knock on. We'll come back to the advantage surely. Sam Morley forcing the offload, maybe when slightly more pragmatic play was required, especially at the stage of the game we're in.
It's definitely, it gets really greasy out there on a 3G pitch when it's blowing and raining like this, so love the intent, but sometimes you need to hold on and go through the phases. Again, a let off for Cardiff. Here we go.
A free kick to Cardiff from the scrum. Exeter's set piece really creaky at the moment. Line outs going awry. Penalties from scrums. A free kick this time. James Davies, I'm intrigued to see what he's going to do here. It looks like he might be shaping to put the bomb up.
Yeah, interesting choice, but the way the wind's blowing around makes it really difficult. Well dealt with by Exeter's fullback there, Boje.
He returns with interest. It's a fumble from Cardiff going forward, and that is a territory win. Great pressure from Mboj, chasing his own kick. You see the bomb go up.
Yeah, usually Owen Williams so safe under those high balls, but like I said about that wind, it really is swirling out there. And again, it's a good kick and it's a good chase, putting Exeter under pressure.
Well, he looked up and he saw Hollis and Mboj and another would-be Exeter tackler right up in his grill. Probably distracted him somewhat from his primary job of pouching that high ball. It's given Exeter this platform in the centre of the field, very difficult to defend. But look at the Cardiff scrum once again, really in the ascendancy here, and it's a problem that Exeter need to try and resolve because they're murdering them at the moment.
Yeah, it's always good when your scrum's marching forward, especially for a 9. It's nice to have a little platform like that. But not only that, it's a great weapon. There's going to be quite a lot of scrums today, I'd imagine, with the greasy ball. So it could give us a real foothold in the game.
Well, a key battle area of the pitch in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture, brought to you by Yoti. Plenty of support up here at main site today in terms of students, parents, alumni as well, dare I say, all eager to see Exeter lift the league trophy. They've got a red obstacle in their way to overcome first as they make good headway through Elderkin.
Yeah, simple missed tackle there. That's not what Cardiff will be looking for. And there again, great gain line by the Exeter back row, I believe.
Thompson finds McMeekin, a real scrambler, but he scrambles one too many. Great breakdown play, great pilfering from Cardiff, and they get the penalty.
Yeah, I believe that was Alex Everett over the ball. Once he's in position over the ball, it's very tough to move him. Big, strong boy.
Owen Williams looking to make amends from drop ball, puts boot to ball, doesn't get quite as much distance as we've seen so far in the opening 24 minutes.
Yeah, I think that come off his leg closer to his knee than it did his foot.
Tell me, we've got a pretty noisy crowd up here in Exeter today. What is it like encountering the away crowds at various universities in BUCS Super Rugby?
Yeah, it's brilliant to see. I think, like we said, the rugby club here is massive in Exeter, and these are the kind of games you want to be involved in as a rugby player. You play to play in front of these crowds, and in these occasions, it is pretty hostile out there sometimes, but that's what you want to play in front of.
Do you find at times the hostility almost spurs you on, that not only do you want to beat the university that you're playing, but you really almost want to shove it up their supporters as well, who are in your ear for 80 minutes? Definitely,
yeah. We haven't had much luck on the road this year, but over the years Exeter's crowd has been pretty hostile. I think people will find that coming down to Llanrumney as well. We always get a good crowd there with our 5 o'clock kickoffs, and the boys are always there supporting. It's just great to play in front of.
Well, it seems to be something that you've built up at Llanrumney as well. Looking at the videos that you post on your social media, I think that the deeds that you're doing on the pitch seem to be inspiring more and more support. I see the guard of honour that you boys come out to before the game and at half-time, and it's awe-inspiring as we see Cardiff stretch left again. It's a 2-on-1, and they find Thomas once more, who has scored his second of the game out of nothing, and Exeter are stunned and staring down the barrel of 10-7 with 25 minutes gone.
Yeah, great play great call from there from James. We worked on that. Our driving maul has been pretty potent this side of Christmas, and we set up for a dummy maul, and we go at the back, and there's always an overlap if everyone does their job in the pitch. But Owen Williams, great play, holds on that ball just a little bit longer to fix the 15, sends George in for a nice bit of meat.
Well, that was the key, wasn't it? Owen Williams holding on to it that second longer, putting out the big don't argue to the despairing Charlie Davies. Salim Boj was forced to bite in, and it left George Thomas unattended. The arch try scorer, taking his tally to 7 for the season. He's in a rich vein of form after 2 last week against Loughborough.
Yeah, definitely. He loves scoring tries. He's just come back. He's been invited in to train with the Wales 7 squad. Unfortunately, he took a bit of a knock, so didn't make the tour. But it's great to have him back with us. He's very, very sharp.
Owen Williams shapes up for a carbon copy conversion. This time learning his lessons, bisecting the poles. And it is Exeter University 7, Cardiff 12, as we see a replay of these smart hands.
Yeah, that dummy maul drags in a lot of Exeter boys, and then it's backs on backs, and it's great timing, great release, great passing. It's all there. And that there, he's held on. He's very deceptively strong. He's only a skinny lad, is Owen, but he's done well to hold off the big 14 there of Exeter. Well,
silky precision hands made George Thomas's second a stroll through. Exeter have got questions to answer at the moment, and they start by muscling Cardiff into touch. A line out in between the 10 and the 22. This line out that's been under pressure. They went to the front to Pierre Thompson in a training park cancel earlier. We've got a perfect shot of whether this dart will be true. And that is lovely from Exeter, just what the doctor ordered. And a penalty as well.
Yeah, not quite sure what's going on at line-out time, but there's a lot of penalties and not a lot of clean ball to play off.
Once again, Exeter plump for the corner through Sam Morley, who's been dead-eye all season from the tee, working with the likes of Tony Yap, Stu Allred, Dave Allred at the School of Kicking, perfecting his kicking craft. Puts Exeter 10 metres shy of the Cardiff line. They take the line out, maybe on the margin of straight, but this is where they want to be.
Good initial attempt of stopping that maul, and they do really well to bring it down and split it off.
Cardiff defend the first wave as they go to Hollis, who's really been a handful in this first half hour.
Yeah, Hugh Roberts won't be happy with the way he's tackled him there. He's gone low, but a big strong carry there. Bounces back to make the next one though.
Jack Rouse, he's next to carry. Names that we keep on repeating: Hollis, Rouse, real Exeter men. They're the people that URFC will be looking for as they look to overturn this deficit. They're staring down at the moment. They move 5 metres short. I've seen this movie before, Owen.
This is where Exeter are dangerous. Yeah, we'll do well to stop them from here, but the boys will give everything. They'll put their bodies on the line from here. James Davis in at the ruck chain, tell him to get out of there. He's not a team to tackle.
It's such an exhausting, suffocating method of assault. Sucking in numbers, tight around that breakdown. Exeter continue. It's in Rouse's hands. He looks to carry again, held short. They're 1 metre out. Who's next? Gosling, the hooker. He can't get across. McMeekan now. Such a powerful young man.
Heroic defence here. How long can they hold?
How long can they hold? Is this sapping assault going to free up space out wide? But Exeter insist on going short, and they finally muscle across. They hovered and then finally dotted the ball down. It looks like it might be Rouse again for another. We'll find out on the replay. Exeter absolutely lethal from 10 metres out. They pummel and pummel the Cardiff line, and eventually, with the help of 3 men on the try scorer's back, Number 4, Paul Schroeter, gets across for his 4th try of the campaign. And a really important one in terms of resettling Exeter, getting them back into this game.
Yeah, difficult to stop there. He does well to hold his feet, survives the initial contact, and the support from his 2 buddies either side pushes him over the line. Good finish.
Sam Morley with the chance to put Exeter into the lead, which he duly does, to the roars of the EURC faithful. As we see another replay of Exeter's 2nd try. This could be a replay of 50 of their tries this season. They are so good at converting from that range in BUCS Super Rugby, brought to you by Yoti. 14-12 the score, 2 tries apiece. A really delicately balanced game. And Exeter clearing through the boot of Pierre Thompson, long to the Cardiff 10-metre. A rogue pass, Davies cleans up. And the Exeter chase is good.
Yeah, simple error, inviting Exeter's good, strong chase to invite them on even more.
One thing Cardiff have looked in this half is assured with the ball in hand. And the marked difference, I have to say, and it must be inspired by your 4 victories in the last 6, you don't seem fearful of any opposition you come up against. There was a natural caginess maybe to Cardiff at the start of the season. New league, new opposition, a sense of whether you belong, but really you don't mind throwing down against the best of them.
No, definitely not. Like I said earlier on, these are the games we want to be playing in against the best universities in the country. And yeah, we took our time to get settled in, but it was a big step up. And you know, had a couple of things gone our way earlier on, we would have got that elusive win earlier on, and who knows where we would have ended up. But once we got that first win, we knew we had confidence and the ability to compete with these teams.
And Boge puts a high ball up, which is fluffed by Hugh Roberts. He does well to recover. James Davies this time putting boot to ball. Exeter filling the backfield.
Yeah, some lazy work from the Cardiff defence there. Should be escorted, and they're getting overtaken in the chase, which is not good to see.
Elderkin, another name that is on our lips with regularity in this half, doing the defensive work, the grunt work. We've seen his flight of foot with the ball in hand. He's really stepping up with hungry chasing, invariably snagging the catcher when the ball is sent into the sky. Cardiff keeping it narrow, keeping it tight, direct.
Yeah, good composed play from Josh Oakley there, setting up for the exit.
34 minutes gone in this first half of BUCS Super Rugby, brought to you by Yoti. The game finally poised. A potentially influential period as we approach half-time. That substitute, Matt Johnson.
Great tackle by George Thomas. He's done that time and time again this year. Questionable pass. I thought he was a bit forward, but play on, says the ref.
But then again, you are watching it through red Cardiff spectacles. As we see some better continuity from Exeter. Morley's pulling the strings. There's Charlie Davies on that inside trailing line I mentioned before. Doesn't quite go to hand. Scrappy from Exeter. There's hands in there from Cardiff. First bite, they just couldn't quite wrench him off. And that's a great result for Cardiff.
Yeah, good set of defence, and they pounce when the mistake comes from Exeter. Great line speed from Luke Waller, and followed up by James Jennings there. Josh Oakley looking to go quickly. Quick little player. Like to see him do that.
Instead, he leaves it for the cannon that is Owen Williams' right foot. Sends Cardiff 20 metres shy of the line as there's some of the travelling support from the Cardiff lads.
The Soul crew come down, got up early, get on the bus, get a few beers into you. Love to see that.
Not a bad way to spend a Wednesday afternoon, is it, if you're not on the field yourself?
We love Wednesdays.
Don't we all? Don't we all? Best day of the week. And Cardiff looking to make it an even better one in this opening 40 minutes. They've built well and they've broken away. Exeter assured of numbers as the ball smuggled into James Jennings' hands, the man who won the turnover that gave Cardiff the opportunity to kick deep into Exeter territory as they continue to rumble on, but they've lost the ball. Although the referee spotted an infringement, maybe Johnson's hand knocking it down. Hands again, Davies delays the pass, beautiful stuff from the 10. And Exeter clamber onto the ball, but the referee is taking the ball back. That delayed pass was sumptuous. Exeter did well to stop the unrushing attack.
Yeah, as much as James quite often gets ripped into by the boys for not liking to tackle, he doesn't mind getting hit if he takes the ball to the line, which he quite often does.
10s aren't there to tackle, that's what the 7's for.
Definitely not.
Well, Alex Everett, the man who is wearing the 7 jersey for Cardiff, is doing a pretty sterling job at the moment, I've got to say.
Definitely, our back row this year have just been stats machines, the tackles and carries and the work that they get through. Quite a lot of it unseen unless there's a line break or whatever, but no, the stats that these guys are churning out in, week out, incredible stuff.
But also the resilience as well. Tom Wilson is playing in his 18th game in a row. He hasn't mixed a fixture for you all season. It's almost unheard of in BUCS Super Rugby these days. Such is the brutality of every confrontation.
Yeah, and that's not due to him shying out of any collisions. He'll collide with anyone. He loves a contact area, and he'll tell you about it as well. You often hear him shouting bang as he's tackling someone.
Well, Cardiff have fluffed their lines. They had an opportunity to take the lead going into half-time in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture brought to you by Yoti. But a wonky throw means Exeter have a scrum on their 5-metre line. But as we've seen in this first half, the scrum is a weapon that Cardiff have in their arsenal that they're not scared to employ.
No, definitely not. That's a let-off for Exeter there. We had a let-off earlier with Exeter throwing one knot straight. But massive opportunity here for Ed Thompson and Freddie Barnes to get through. I think the props are the only ones at scrummage, aren't they?
I think the second rows might have something to say about that as well. Certainly back rows like to pretend that they add a bit of weight and ballast to it. The Cardiff scrum is functioning so well. Exeter get it out quickly. They give it to Hollis. What a banker ball they have in the middle in the shape of Will Hollis. Always takes yards from the opposition. 2 men dragging him down this time.
Yeah, that's massive for Exeter. The scrum is on wheels a bit there, and for him to be able to carry and get over the gain line, not only over the tackle line but over the gain line, just gives a platform for Exeter to exit off.
As you said, the Exeter scrum on roller skates going backwards at the moment. Thompson and Hollis conspiring to keep them in the lead as Thompson puts a terrific boxed clearance into touch on the halfway line, and that is a way to relieve pressure.
Yeah, that's a great kick. That's the most difficult kick as a 9. Over your shoulder, under your own post, and over your back almost. It's a great kick to get that much distance and to get it out.
It's not just standing room only, it is climb a pole and view from the top only. Look at that man in the background. Such is the fervour around this game. But it's going the home side's way at the moment by a whisker. Just one conversion separating the sides.
Yeah, I think Cardiff will be pretty happy with that. We had a bit of a slow start and Exeter looked very rampant early on, but Cardiff have fought their way back into it. That's a great shot there.
That is a thunderous hit from Will Hollis, who absolutely buries Charlie Dyde. There was a hint of the pass being forward, but it made no difference because Hollis was in to control, deletes Charlie Dyde in the centre. Yeah. The referee is bringing it back from an earlier infringement in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture, brought to you by Yoti.
Yeah, Charlie Dyde won't be thanking James Davis for that pass, but he can hit as hard as he takes there, so hopefully we'll see Charlie get his revenge in the coming minutes. One
for the bloopers reel for young Charlie Dyde. Maybe he'll get his vengeance in the second half. as we draw to the close of this one. Do remember our clock is an estimation, and with that, Josh Oakley nudges the ball out into touch to signal the end of a fascinating first 40 minutes that sees Exeter lead Cardiff 14 points to 12, 2 tries apiece, just 1 conversion separating the sides. And a really intriguing contest we've got here. We've seen the forward power of Exeter, but we've seen the magical Welsh hands of Cardiff in full flight as well.
Yeah, going into the break, I don't think we'll be too disappointed, really. We didn't have a lot of territory, didn't have a lot of possession. Exeter certainly dominated those areas. But the thing with Cardiff, and the thing we've sort of built up over the past few weeks especially, is when we're in those areas, we do look to come away with points. And some lovely tries scored by Cardiff and George Thomas.
Yes. Well, here are the highlights. Now, if you think you're watching Exeter's second try, you are mistaken. This is their first one. Carbon copy scores. This one from the returning Jack Rouse, a man who bleeds green and white. He's worn the captain's armband on a number of occasions this season, and he bags his 5th try of the season there to get the green machine rolling forward early in the game. An easy conversion followed for Sam Morley. The patience, the suffocating, mechanical, robotic try-scoring nature of Exeter there for everybody to see.
Yeah, Luke Waller going a bit high there. He won't be happy if I'm calling him out on this, and he'll have a go at me in the house tomorrow, I'm sure. But he's gone a bit high there, but great technique from Exeter, low, and they're in numbers as well.
Well, this is the moment that really lit up the game. A huge no-look quadruple miss pass from James Davies, freeing up Charlie Dyde, who was in so much space he almost didn't know how to execute the 2-on-1, but eventually he gave it to George Thomas, who cannot stop scoring at the moment. 2 tries last week, and this was the first of 2 in this half, and it really ignited the Cardiff assault.
Yeah, we've got the advantage there. I don't think that replay shows that, but like Danny Cipriani earlier in the year, James Davis loves those passes.
Well, why not? With no consequences, that's the time to chance your arm. But we saw another delayed pass. He loves taking it flat to the line. Crisp, precise hands from the Cardiff boys. And again, Thomas, not a fingerprint laid on him as he careered across the line to take Cardiff into the lead.
Yeah, Owen Williams, the unsung hero there. James Davis taking it to the line. I think he had a bump for his troubles, but great delayed pass by Owen Williams.
Well, the conversion was good that time, and Cardiff led 12 points to 7 before Exeter got their revenge. Only moments later, it was a hasty response and one that Exeter needed.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, a carbon copy, and that's the issue that Cardiff have. We can't be giving away penalties or making errors in the middle of the park, because Exeter is so dangerous when they get into the 22, especially these big lads all queuing up. They all know exactly what they're doing, all on the same page. Good try.
That would prove to be the final scoring of a tense half, at times error-laden, but by and large a really entertaining one that sees Exeter leading 14 points to 12. As we now get an opportunity to see one of the teams in action here today, Cardiff, in full flight last week in a groundbreaking victory away at Loughborough.
And a great platform is Alex Everett. Oh, lovely footwork there from Roberts under the sticks by Max Hill. Now it could open up here for Cardiff. There's a 2-on-1, and George Thomas is going to get Cardiff's 3rd. Still last play, we're into stoppage time here. Lewis finds the fullback out of the back door. Stunning pass, great finish, and that's the bonus point for Cardiff.
sort of try was.
So there you are, your try lights of last week, and a carbon copy again of George Thomas scoring in the left corner, fed by Owen Williams. But what a try from Bath in that really well, maybe not so surprising. Maybe we're doing Bath a discredit. They're a very good team. They've blown hot and cold at various stages in the season, but that was the double over Exeter, which not many sides get an opportunity to say. They denied them bonus points, but that try from Ed Rimmer, length of the field, try of the season, what do you reckon, Owen?
Oh, there's been some great tries this year, but that's definitely up there. Great support lines, great hands, composure as well. You've got to feel for the Exeter lad who's tracked all that way, made the tackle, and the Niners reached out for Bath and scored, dotted it down. But great try.
Well, that extraordinary cocktail of results that we have on your screen right there has given us this day of extraordinary permutations. I mean, they are so varied, so fluid, so complex. You need a scientific calculator and probably a degree in tabular statistics to decode the drama. But for Exeter and Cardiff today, the formula is simple. I've said it already. A win for Exeter sees them lift the trophy, and any point for Cardiff bags them the final playoff berth. Anything less for either team, and their fate is no longer in their hands. We take a look at the table here right now. You're going to have to bear with me, and I'll talk you through the top. Now, if Exeter win the league is theirs. If Exeter lose with 2 bonus points, Bath cannot win the league. If they lose with no bonus points, it opens the door for Hartpury and Bath. Exeter, Bath and Hartpury can mathematically all end on level points. Now you're going to have to stick with me for the last bit. The teams are determined by virtue of their head-to-head. So if Bath end the season level with Exeter, they will win the league. If Bath end the season level with Hartpury, then they will win the league. If Hartpury end the season level with Exeter and Bath have less points, then Hartpury win the league. Are you with me, Owen?
Oh, it's all a bit of a guessing game at the moment, and especially the way this league's been. I think most teams have been able to show that they can beat any team. So Hartpury going to Nottingham Trent twice on the bounce, it's not guaranteed that they're going to come away with 10 points either.
Well, looking further down the table and 8th place, which is where your concerns lie, 1 bonus point guarantees Cardiff 8th place. If Cardiff finish level on points with Loughborough though, then they secure a final playoff place by virtue of the head-to-head. They've played Loughborough twice, they've won twice, so really it is in Cardiff's hands, although Loughborough have a strong side out today against Bath at the STV. So much to play for all these sides, and let's not forget about everyone in the middle, because they're vying for home draws, seeding places when it comes to the playoffs. And really, if you're a betting man, BUCS Super Rugby is not the league for you, because it is impossible to predict week on week who's going to beat who.
Yeah, it's a bit of a crazy league, up and down. Anyone can beat anyone. You saw right across the year, right from the start. I mean, Cardiff Met have struggled this side of Christmas, but they were really strong early on. It's brilliant to watch for the neutral.
Now, turning our gaze back to this game that we have on our hands here. When you played them at home at Llanrumney, you fought tooth and nail. It was a real battle for Exeter, and it was tight, very tight for the first 40, but then tries from Josh Peters, Charlie Davies, Ollie White, Matt Johnson, Matt Bursey. You leaked these tries, and the game got away from you before biting back. How do you stop yourself from travelling down the same path again today?
That's the question we've been asking ourselves all year, really. I think coming out of the start of the second half has been a real killer for our season. I think we were lucky last week to get away with it, but that's not the only week where we started poorly in the second half and then left ourselves too much to do. This next 10 minutes is absolutely massive for Cardiff.
Absolutely massive for Cardiff indeed. So we talked you through the complexities of how the table can end up. But the real thing is, Cardiff, you've got 2 tries. If you get 2 more, that's it. You're done. You're in 8th place in the playoffs. And you're playing the first ranked team away, which could be Exeter. But we don't know who's going to win this game yet, do we?
No, not at all. We've come down here. We haven't come down here to get a point and just settle with that. We're coming down here to make a statement and give us some momentum going into the playoffs. We know we're going to have to play the championship winner, so we really need some momentum if we're going to progress in this league.
Well, hold on to your hats at home, ladies and gentlemen. It's BUCS Super Rugby, brought to you by Yoti, and this next 40 minutes is going to be a key cog in deciding where the title goes, who is in the playoffs, and who is going down into the relegation zone. 40 minutes to play, memories and history to be made as Sam Morley sends it long into the heart of the Cardiff 22. And a charge down early from Pierre Thompson. The ball's gone loose. Cardiff mop up the mess. Gareth Ansell falling on the bomb.
Yeah, not a great start from Cardiff. Great pressure from the Exeter chase. And that's a good relieving kick from Josh Oakley. Has it gone out? Yeah, it's a great kick from Josh Oakley.
Well, we spoke about Cardiff needing to start this second half well. Last week, they scored 26 points against Loughborough. They didn't score one single point in the second half. And that was almost a nightmare start for the men in black and red. Exeter, they've started with a spring in their step. McMeekan, a little powerhouse. Thompson, a trademark snipe, bustling people off, swatting them like flies.
Yeah, Cardiff a bit slow on the line speed from that line out and just allows X to get over the gain line. Great ball placement, back for the 9 to have a little go.
Gosling carrying this time, Elderkin to Hollis. Hollis, really their go-to man at the moment. McMeekan, dummies, into the gap. Thompson, what a nightmare he is to defend around the base. He distributes this time and again. Matt Johnson, Big Jono they call him. You don't need me to tell you why. Exeter cleared out well. Charlie Davies spots a gap. Is that high? Yes, it is. It's penalty advantage as Rouse carries down the left, cheered on by his support. They just had a shot on the left, but boy, you can hear them. Capon.
Yeah, it's great defence again by Cardiff, but here we are in that danger zone again.
Morley shows goes, he wriggles free, offloads, and it's Sam Burrows who open the second half scoring and give Exeter the dream start in their quest to become back-to-back champions.
Yeah, just as I say, Cardiff defending really well. It almost comes a bit too easy, but that's great play from Exeter there. Great hands, patient again, building up through the forwards, and then when they pull the trigger and go wide, it's great hands. Good feet by the 10 there, and great support line by Mboj.
Wonderful support play to make it an easy dot down for Salem Bowes, his 4th of the campaign. A man used to scoring in Exeter Braves colours, Exeter Chiefs colours when it comes to the Singer Sevens. But that'll taste just as sweet as he knows how important that could be in seeing Exeter lift the silverware later this afternoon. 21-12, Exeter lead Cardiff in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture, brought to you by Yoti. As we see Alex Varney take the field. Some fresh replacements coming from Cardiff early.
Yeah, I think that was always a plan. I don't think it's a sign of panic. It's a great chase, but Alex Varney, what an athlete he is, and if you give him some space, you want to watch out.
McMeekan becoming increasingly influential, wearing the 8 jersey, maybe not of the stature that people would normally associate with the number 8, but so powerful. I mentioned his ability to scrabble and steal those extra yards. His work rate is imperious also. But we see an error from Exeter there, the box going out on the 4, having been carried out of the 22. And it's a recurring theme in this game. A team scores, they get their noses in front, then they make a schoolboy error to put pressure back on themselves.
Yeah, that's really difficult. The wind, you can see the linesman's flag there blowing there. I think it's a really small pitch as well, so unfortunate for Exeter, but a great launch for Cardiff here.
looks to put pressure on their lineup by putting 2 jumpers up. The ball is nudged back, says the referee, and Cardiff will build from the 22. There's the replacement Varney that we just spoke of, getting his hands on the ball early. James Davies, the magician. Huge defence from Exeter. They're up for it in this second 40.
Cardiff need to just go through a couple of phases, get themselves back into the game. The break can often be a killer.
Well, Exeter have come out in this second half like rabid dogs, harassing the Cardiff ball players at any opportunity. A lot of two-up hits. So you see Rouse look to try and spoil things. A hint of an interception for a moment there. A gasp from Owen by my side. Davies, sells, goes.
Yeah, it's so good at taking the ball to the line.
Well, for all their continuity, Cardiff aren't making much progress. They've got penalty advantage for a no-arms tackle. It's a loose one from McMeekan that Marcus Ramage almost cottons onto as we see a replay of the hit on Hugh Roberts. 2 men in there, Elderkin and Hollis. Lovely little combination that they've seemed to have developed in the centres.
Yeah, they read the balls going up the back really well, and doesn't give Hugh Roberts much of an option but to carry and just take the big shot that's coming in.
As James Davies has called for the tee, I believe.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Like I said last week, we didn't get any points on the board in the second half. I myself dropped the ball over the line, but you know, these things happen. So I think it's important to settle the nerves of Cardiff. If he can get some points on the board, it's good for Cardiff to get back into the game.
James Davies taking over the kicking duties from Owen Williams to try and claw back 3 points.
Struck that really well.
Beautiful strike with the direction to match. Sees the linesmen raise their flags in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture, brought to you by Yoti. It's Exeter 21, Cardiff 15, 46.5 minutes gone. And Cardiff within a converted score once again.
Yeah, key kick there from James brings it back to a 1-score game, like we said, and we know Cardiff can score from anywhere. So that'll put a bit of pressure back on Exeter.
Well, that's just the thing. Obviously, Cardiff known for their free scoring ability, and that's how you want to play. And you surely have the 4 tries in the back of your mind for that bonus point. But you can't play with reckless abandon if you don't have a degree of scoreboard pressure, can you?
Not at all. And that's a great kick from James Davis. Quite unfortunate that it's a great return from Mboje.
Exeter, Morley shows, goes. Hollis is on his outside. Is he going to find him? Yes, he will. And he flops over for Exeter's 4th try.
Yeah.
And a crucial one at that. It takes them to 26 points to 15. What a response. And I can think of no man wearing green and white who deserves it more than Will Hollis.
Yeah, he's a big lad in the middle of the field, and he's done well to get on the end of that one. Unfortunate for Cardiff, we've talked about that. We haven't exited well after we've scored. I thought it was a decent kick, but the chase, we seem to switch off here, and it's all a bit easy, really. But credit to Exeter, they take their chances. The 10 spots his gap, and he's through.
Well, it really opened up in the middle there for Morley. He didn't need a second invitation. Hollis in support. Easy 2-on-1. Bonus point in the bag for the Green Machine. And Morley looking to add to his 100% kicking record so far in this game.
Yeah, the next 10 minutes, a massive test of both Exeter and Cardiff's character. Oh, it's a great strike. He's brought it around really well.
What a beautiful shot. Just like watching the Masters golf almost, shaping it round the corner, in past the upright. And it is Exeter 28, Cardiff 15 in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture, brought to you by Yoti. 49 minutes gone, and Cardiff need to regroup.
Yeah, I think it's really important that we regroup quickly and look to score next. Another try, and we could be chasing shadows a bit like we did at home. So this next 10 minutes, massive for both sides.
They send it long, and Thompson replies high into this sun. It's becoming an increasing feature in the game. Knock on from Thompson, who chased his own kick.
Yeah, I think the wind is a bit stronger than it seems. That kick looked like it was going to sail right into the Cardiff half, but really held up. You see Gareth Ansell had to really make an effort to get forward, and the Exeter boys were there before him.
Well, a lovely reverse angle of the Will Hollis try there. Our cameraman bursting his lungs to try and keep up with the play. Admirable stuff from him. It looks a happy bench at the moment in Exeter. They know the significance of that try. 13 points ahead, 30 minutes to play, but they have let leads slip this season. They'll be mindful of their defeats by Durham and Bath in the last 2 weeks. They really do have the wind in their sails. Now the scrum beginning to function. That's why they brought Matt Johnson, I believe, to try and put a cornerstone in there that they could counter your dominance, Owen.
Yeah, definitely. That's a bit of a change of picture than what we've seen in the first half. He's a big lad. He's not going to be moved very easily. So if Ed Thompson can dig in a bit here. Oh, that's Charlie Dyde has popped off onto the side. He's been struggling this week.
Charlie Dyde, he's stepping in for Rod Wall. Big miss for you guys, Rod Wall.
Yeah, Rod Wall's been brilliant for us this week. He's really deceptively quick, and he gets on that outside arc from 13 quite a lot. And him and James Davis have played together since they were about 12, I think. So a great combination. Great scrum by Exeter there, though. Big change of fortune.
Well, Exeter have absolutely marmalised the Cardiff scrum. And look at the cage beast behind the ERC faithful. They love it. And it really feels like the tide is turning in favour of Exeter in this half. Big penalty to win. The crowd are behind them. 4 tries in the bag. They kick to the touchline on the 22 as they tilt for the coup de grace. And maybe, just maybe, the trophy in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture brought to you by Yoti.
Yeah, still a long way to go, but it's a real test of Cardiff's character now over the next 5 minutes. If they can hold them out here, then they'll take some real positives from that, and they'll look to get back down the other end and score some points.
Even the line-out's functioning, everything going Exeter's way at the moment, but it's a good initial counter from Cardiff. The driving more splinters, but Exeter maintain their shape. A long caterpillar. It's compressed though, and Cardiff done really well to counter that second shove, but Johnson breaks away.
Yeah, massive second defensive effort from Cardiff there. It really looked well set up, did the Exeter driver more.
McMeekan tips the cape on, it's rapid ball. Hollis again, bursting through tackles. What a handful he's been today. To Rouse, he's lost his head guard, but he hasn't lost his desire to take Exeter across the line for his second of the match, and surely the ball game and the league title.
Yeah, it's too quick. We've talked about slowing Exeter's ball down, but the ball's there on a plate for the 9 to play away quickly, and gain line again. It's really tough to stop that. Great carry there. Again, gets the ball back well. The 9's there ready to play away, and Cardiff are a bit disorganised with how quick the ball is.
Again, Hollis in the centre like a cannonball, proving impossible to stop. And the quick ball into the hands of an on-rushing Jack Rouse, a huge man with an even bigger desire to take Exeter to the highest heights. 2 tries to him in this match. Sam Morley lining up his 5th kick of the game.
Yeah, tough position for Cardiff now. We know there's a big hill in front of us, but there's still 25 plus minutes left in the game, and we have finished quite strongly, especially when we've been behind in previous fixtures. So hopefully we'll see some more running rugby from Cardiff. Another great kick.
Morley, sublime from the tee once more. As we take a look at the replay. Hollis, 2 men on him, sucking in the defence before Thompson finds Rouse. He had only one thing on his mind, and that was the whitewash. Big celebrations from Exeter. Feel that try was important to them. It takes them to 20 points clear at the moment. Johnson's a late arrival to that ruck. He's had a big impact. He's carried well. He's been difficult in the tight. And of course, the scrum is now on top. But 25 minutes for Cardiff, only 20 points to come.
Yeah, great play from Owen Williams. He's really calm there at the back. Into a kicking battle now. It's a long kick, 22 to 22.
Exeter will be happy to march to this beat. That ball's taken a big bounce again. Exeter have come a cropper to that before. It's going to be a scrum back just beyond the halfway line. As we see a replay of the quick kickoff from Cardiff. He really is a box of tricks, James Davies, isn't he?
Yeah, he works really hard behind the scenes. He's looking at everything. He loves playing, running rugby. Doesn't like the wind and the rain, but on a dry pitch, this really suits him now. So hopefully we'll see more of that, and a couple more tries. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Is he playing for the wrong university at the wrong ground if he doesn't like wind and rain, Owen?
Well, maybe, but we've scored some great tries out at Llanrumney. This it's not a perfect track, but it's our perfect track, and we've made it our home.
Yeah, I think Alan Wynne described it as an acquired taste in his pre-match interview.
Yeah, it's brilliant. You see the boys getting off the away bus and they're looking around, and that's great for us, already in their heads.
That really is a feature. I know I mentioned about the supporters and the hostility that you sometimes get from the touchline, but that's something that really is a feature of the university game, going to nasty places that you don't really want to be. You know, maybe in a rundown changing room on a slightly boggy pitch, a Larry touchline. You don't see that in other forms of the game so much as it's gone more professional. There's a bit of romance, I guess, to BUCS Super Rugby.
Yeah, I think so. It's brilliant. The boys have been brilliant, turned out wind, rain or shine, and you know, it's really good to play in front of. I'm not sure how it is for the opposition, but that's the type of place we want to make it difficult to come to. And as we've shown, if you win your home games, you're in with a good shout to staying up in our case.
Yeah, I'd say that in Premiership professional rugby, people aren't as passionate about their teams, whereas it really is tribal at university level. We see a range of fumbles and knock-ons in that passage.
Yeah,
knocked on in the tackle, I think. Great pressure though, on Davies from Thompson. He's been influential in the game. Charlie Davies just couldn't quite grab it. It was bobbling around. It's kind of like a hungry hippo trying to get a hold of it, but couldn't quite pounce it.
Yeah, it's great line speed from the 9. As we said, James really likes to take it to the line, but as the 9 there for Exeter done, Thompson really cut down his space and made a difficult decision for James to make.
As we see Keith Fleming there, the mastermind of the University of Exeter rugby programme. They've got nearly 10 teams, nearly 250 boys in the club. He oversees every single team. I'm led to believe he has on his wall a picture of every player in the club for when it comes to team selection and knowing all the boys, and is really developing a dynasty here.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it is a foregone conclusion, but it's certainly leaning towards that this could be Exeter's second title in a row, and Keith Fleming, you know, at the forefront of that. Yeah,
credit. People come to Exeter because of their rugby credentials and their reputation they've built up over the years. So credit to what he's built up here.
Well, we're stopping for an injury at the moment. Will Hollis, a man who's certainly impressed me with his uncompromising style of attack. It's led him to one try, but his influences have certainly been platforms. Yeah,
a lot of unseen work. You know, he doesn't get all the credit scoring all the try, but it's really difficult to defend against when you're going backwards and he's getting gain line after gain line.
Very true. So 57 minutes gone in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture, brought to you by Yoti. Exeter leading 35 points to 15. As it stands, they will be crowned BSR League champions 2019. All they needed was a win. At the moment they've got a bonus point and a winning position. Can they close it out as Cardiff go on the attack? With 22 minutes remaining, 20 points in arrears. We've seen a never say die attitude from the Welshmen all season, so let's see what they can produce. But the Exeter line speed is rapid.
Yeah, there's no sign of Exeter taking their foot off the gas. I think they know what's on the line, and they know the danger that we present, so they're not going to start celebrating too early, even if the crowd do.
Yes, they smell blood at the moment as Cardiff are marched further and further back. They started on the halfway line, now all the way back in their 22 and left with no other option but to put boots of ball straight into the hands of Salim Boja, try himself.
Yeah, great
and
credit.
Plenty of yards in return. Exeter enjoying themselves at the moment. Thompson looks for one of his front row forwards, who finds Hollis back on his feet and back busting tackles.
Yeah, unfortunate for Exeter there. Oh, it looked like he knocked that forward, but the ref seems to have not seen that one.
Another big carry from Paul Schroeter.
Yeah, some big collisions in this game. Big defence meeting big boys in attack.
Huge men in this league. There was a freshers first 15 game on just before this match, Exeter against Glasgow in the semi-final of the Cup. Glasgow coming down and taking the victory. What a win for them. But looking at these freshies, these 18-year-olds, man, mountains.
Yeah, the boys are getting bigger and bigger, and that's just the way the game's going. And it's a credit that the boys can look after themselves in such a way and still play such a high-paced game.
Well, the ball's broken loose to the try scorer, George Thomas, who's already got two for his name. He's dragged down at the final moment when the hat-trick beckoned. They need to stay composed, not panic. Cardiff have still got a chance as Exeter regroup. They move the ball right, stepped out of the line by Jack Rouse. It's a knock-on in the tackle. A timely intervention from Rouse. They got outside him. There was opportunity for Marcus Ramage, the speedster, who was lurking on the right flank.
Yeah, great defensive set by Cardiff, and they come up with rewards with a turnover. George looking so sharp there, marshalled well.
Well, a wonderful tackle from Sam Morley, who was right place, right time, as George Thomas seeked out his hat-trick. And an avenue back into the game. We see Rouse pick the ball, nice intervention, knock on from him in the tackle. And a Cardiff scrum, which 20 minutes ago would have been good news, but at the moment they're the ones on roller skates.
Yeah, I think the last scrum we'd settled down a bit, but big pressure coming up from the Exeter front row. Yeah, a bit more of a solid scrum there. Exactly the platform that the backs of Cardiff will want to play off.
Can they play? They put hands on it like they've done with so much success. But then boot to ball, some territory for a change. We haven't seen your jerseys up in this part of the field at all in this second half, in fact.
No, smart play from Owen. I think Exeter defended that quite well. They didn't bite and didn't make any decision any easier for Cardiff. So smart decision, lovely rolling kick, put the make Exeter exit now, and hopefully we can launch a counter-attack off that, get back into the game.
Intelligent play from Owen Williams, spotting the space behind the Exeter backs. Ralph Marchant there in the 23 jersey, who's just come on. Scoring tries from the bench at the moment, so watch out for him to see if he's going to add to his tally. And that is a clinical exit from Exeter.
Everyone on the same page, knowing what they're doing, really sharp.
Oh, heavy carry through the middle from Adam Sabri.
Great line speed again from Exeter, really suffocating Cardiff's attack.
Suffocating is the word. As the clock ticks down minute by minute, Exeter continue to drive Cardiff back. And it's such a reversal from what we saw in the first half, to the way that Cardiff opened Exeter up. They just can't find a way through, battering ram or decoding through the magic of James Davies.
Yeah,
definitely searching.
Bit of a game of chess here. I think Cardiff are trying to throw everything at Exeter, but there we go. There's the turnover and the rewards from Exeter's really solid defence.
Difficult when you're being met by two would-be defenders rather, flying at you high and low every time you get the ball to any sort of go forward. The pack has to work harder because they're coming back round to try and secure the ball. The ball becomes slower, the yards become harder, and eventually penalties come for that defending team. Exeter really, really on top at the moment.
Yeah, that's a let-off for Cardiff. But yeah, like you said, the win really in Exeter's sails. They know what's on the line here, and they're playing really well.
The line-out malfunctioning once again. It's been a feature of Exeter's play in this game, and certainly the last few weeks. As you see a kick through from Pierre Thompson. But there's a knock-on previously in the play. Very, very scrappy around that flank. Referee had enough of it. Calls the knock-on.
Yeah, I think
back for a reset.
I think that will suit Exeter. They're happy to run the clock down now. It's a big old hill for Cardiff to climb. So, yeah, Exeter happy just to stay in this area of the park. Strong carry there from Alex Everett, met by solid defence again.
Charge down from Exeter, but the ball falls kindly for Varney. 10 yards gained from Cardiff, maybe not in the manner they'd have anticipated. They're so hard to come by at the moment. Look at that green and white wave, but they go over the top to the substitute, Sabri, who puts a throw out the back door, but he's already had a foot in touch.
Yeah, great recovery defence there. James Davis spots that the guys are biting in, and the guy is free on the wing there. Great recovery in defence. Unfortunate not to keep it alive.
Adam Sabri's a big player for you to be able to bring on, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He's been about with us now. I think he's in his second year, so he's played a lot at this level, played at Welsh Premiership level quite a bit for Newport as well, so he's played quite a lot of rugby, and it's really, really good to have him back.
How is the succession plan looking for Cardiff University with next year beckoning?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned earlier, there's a lot of boys leaving, a lot of boys graduating in their third year, and a couple of boys leaving after doing a Masters and whatever. But I think there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, and I think some of the results that we've had this year will really encourage players to come to Cardiff, not just for the reputation it has as a university, but also more as a sporting establishment now.
As we see a raft of substitutions take the field. Luke Bliss, Andy Hamilton, Pietro De Chio coming on. Pierre Thompson you saw coming off, the Exeter number 9, who's really marshalled his pack and been a threat every time he's had his hands on the ball.
Yeah, I've been impressed with the Exeter scrum half today. He's marshalled really well, as you said, and going forward he's really sharp around the base, so having a go with that big frame of his.
Well, a terrific up and under, puts Mboj under pressure. The chase is good, but Mboj deals with it very well indeed. It's their turn to try and work their way out of their half of the field. They've had it all their way in this second 40, having been under pressure for large swathes of the first half.
Again, a great chase there by Exeter. They're there in numbers, they're hunting in packs. Really, really difficult for Marcus Ramish to do anything. We know what he's like in space.
Yes, very much so, and it's sad that we haven't been able to see him in that space enough. Found purchase down the left wing. Well, I speak too soon. Ramage is on the ball, trying to glide through. Tackled by his opposite number, Matt Blee.
Yeah, incredible athlete is Marcus. He looked after his body so well.
Well, he's been watched very, very carefully by Blee throughout the day. And Exeter's line speed is absolutely relentless.
Yeah.
Cardiff move it out the back, but everywhere they look, they're greeted by green and white hoops.
Yeah, and it's not just ones and twos flying up, they're coming up as a whole defensive line. Like I said, it's really difficult to break down. There's a bit of fun going on in the background.
Yeah, a little bit of handbags between a prop and a scrum half. Nice little mismatch there.
Always back the underdog.
Always back the 9, eh? The chirpsy number 9. That's Owen Davis' appraisal of the situation. Maybe not the case in reality. Maybe just in your little number 9's heads.
Hey, small man syndrome gets the best of us all.
Well, a bit of a loose part of play sees us engage in some kick tennis.
Yeah, again.
Exeter happy to just put their foot on the ball this time. No quick throw. They know that the clock is on their side. 20 points to the good. It's all Cardiff's to come and play and take and steal from them. But the mood they're in, the way they're defending, you can't see it going any other way than to the Devonians.
No, it's really calm play from Exeter. There's an opportunity for a counter-attack, but there's absolutely no need. They are 20 points up now, and just inviting Cardiff on to make mistakes with that defence.
Fumble from Harry Griffiths leads to a turnover, an Exeter attack. Elderkin, Charlie Davies there. The referee calling it back to a scrum. Let's not forget the importance of a bonus point for Cardiff University. As we see a cute pooch there from our cameraman.
Yeah, it's a cute little thing. Yeah, the bonus point, we haven't talked much about that. All the talk this week was coming down and trying to get the win, but all the boys are aware of the situation and how important a bonus point could be.
Cardiff must score 2 more tries or finish within 7 points of Exeter to guarantee themselves a place at the top table for the championship playoffs, the quarterfinals, then the semis, then the final at Twickenham Stadium in April. 1 point will guarantee them that 8th place, but if they fail to secure that, Loughborough must win with a bonus point today away at Bath to steal it from them. It's a position you don't want to be in. You want your destiny in your own hands, but Bath away is a tall order for Loughborough.
Yeah, but Loughborough will be desperate. I mean, it hasn't been a great season for Loughborough by their standards. They're usually up there, thereabouts, fighting for the title, so they'll be desperate. They've stacked their side to go down to Bath, and we're not relying on anyone else. We want to put our destiny in our own hands, but we're making it a bit difficult for ourselves by giving away cheap turnovers such as that.
Cardiff have certainly lost their momentum somewhat in this second half. The errors that we weren't seeing them make in the first half are creeping in, line outs, the scrum has been less dominant, the platform hasn't been as rock solid.
Yeah, it's been really tough. Exeter have come flying out the box, and all credit to them. They've done well. They knew what was on the line, and they've showed why they're up at the top of the league in this second half especially. But we haven't been able to get a foothold or any sort of momentum in the game at all. And there we go, compounding errors, which has been a killer for us all year.
A free kick sees the ball to Sam Morley's hands, who sends it long and high for a Cardiff error. You mentioned the compounding errors, and there's another one from a player who is usually solid as Fort Knox under the high ball.
Yeah, Adam Sabri's, like we mentioned it earlier, it's been really difficult conditions out there, swirling. I think it's still swirling out there, and that's not what we want to see. That's 3 errors now on the bounce, and we've gone from an attacking platform at a line out to giving Exeter another chance to launch an attack in a dangerous position here.
It's amazing what confidence and momentum can do to you in a season, in a game, in fact. And the sting's really gone out of Cardiff's tail at the moment.
Yeah, that's been a massive learning curve for us. At the start of from the start of the year, we learned that we couldn't switch off because teams at this level are so good at gathering momentum and going again. And we haven't been able to do that at all in this second half.
Exeter scrum provides the platform for Mboj to sear wide. Marchant steps inside. He's closely guarded by the Cardiff defence. They certainly haven't given up. Exeter are looking to apply the cherry on top of what is looking like a title-winning cakewalk at the moment. 35-15 they lead. Full of beans as well, right into this final 10 minutes of the game. Yeah. Big Georgian Lasher takes it forward. They've been driven back from where they once were. There's no shortage of men putting their hand up to carry.
Yeah, they all want to be part of the action now, don't they? It's looking likely, but credit to Cardiff digging in there against this quality Exeter opposition.
They are a quality outfit, Exeter. They've been sitting pretty top of the league for much of the season. Bit of a wobble in the last 2 weeks against Bath and Durham, both very good sides. Maybe had them questioning themselves. But a very strong performance here against a Cardiff side who've been in rude health. Dare I say it, quietly confident coming into this fixture.
Yeah, definitely. We had nothing to lose and everything to gain. Coming down here would have been nice to spoil a party, but again, great footwork from the Exeter winger there, and again, going forward and just keep going forward, attack and defence.
Davies' footwork takes Exeter to 5 metres, and true to type, the forwards put their hands on it, carrying in 2s and 3s, eating up the inches. We've seen it in the first half twice. McMeekin this time, he goes alone and he's halted. They're by the post.
Yeah, so difficult to defend around that post.
They go one out this time. They've got so much momentum as they get across the line, and the referee is poised to throw his arm into the air. And if it wasn't already certain, that try hammers it home from Jack Capon. Exeter will win this game, and they will win BUCS Super Rugby 2019.
Yeah, again, like I say, it's really difficult to defend when you get into these sort of areas. Boys are putting their body on the line, but Exeter is so well organised, so well drilled. They all know what they're doing. They're mixing it up, and then quick ball again. Bit of a mismatch. Forwards against the scrum half. Oh, we managed to get it down.
Just about squirmed it across. So with Sam Morley off the park, it falls to Harry Bazalgette to maintain the 100% record from the tee.
Yeah, all the chat now from the Cardiff lads will be about getting those 2 tries to try and ensure the cup playoffs, which will be a massive achievement for us in our first season in the BUCS League.
Well, Bazalgette duly adds the extras, taking the score to Exeter 42, Cardiff 15. In this BUCS Super Rugby fixture brought to you by Yoti. Cardiff still sitting in 8th, Exeter secure top spot, and we could, if Cardiff maintain their position in 8th place, see them travelling down here very, very shortly for the BUCS playoff.
Yeah, like I said, that would be massive for us, but it's a bit of a hill to climb.
Well, a little bit of magic to close out the half, and there is one of the 2 tries that Cardiff need. They've got 3 tries now. Marcus Ramage gets his meat pie, and one more try from Cardiff. That would secure the bonus point, and that would secure the hallowed 8th place and final playoff berth.
Yeah, great to see from the boys. They're still digging in. They still want to finish in this 8th position. You know, anything can happen when it's cup rugby. So great to see us still pushing on and hopefully get the other score to secure it.
Well, a drop-kicked conversion. Time is of the essence for Cardiff. They need this extra try to guarantee that 8th position. And I'm going to have to turn to you, Owen, as well, for your man of the match. I know your mind is elsewhere on this bonus point, but let's talk man of the match. Let's talk star performers.
No, yeah, it's been a really, really good dominant, especially in the second half by Exeter. But you know, there's been some great performances. The fullback Sam Boj has been great for Exeter. He's really dealt with our kicking threat. But I'm going to have to the forwards as well. Like I said, they're a well-oiled machine especially when they get in those areas. But I think my man of the match is going to have to go to Will Hollis. He's been really instrumental in providing front football for Exeter, which has been really difficult to play against.
Will Hollis, a worthy recipient of the Yoti man of the match, a try and countless carries throughout the game to put Exeter on the front foot and in position to plunder 6 tries so far in the game as Cardiff begin to express themselves in search of this 4th and most crucial try.
Yeah, that 3rd try has seemed to breathe a bit more life back into the attack of Cardiff. Again, Exeter deal well with it. But fingers crossed, a couple of minutes we can put the fate of our the rest of our season in our own hands with another try here.
Well, the ball in Exeter's hands at the moment, that's the object that Cardiff need to take this bonus. Will Hollis, a beaming Will Hollis, the Yoti man of the match. A little bit camera shy, a little bit embarrassed. Probably copping heaps from his mates.
You say camera shy.
There you go, he's warmed to the celebrity already. Well, we'll be catching up with him after the game to talk about his performance, his team's performance, and what the title means to EURFC. 42-22 they lead. The game is theirs, the title will be too. But Cardiff still probing, still searching for this bonus point.
Credit to Exeter, they've bounced back from what could have been a bit of a banana skin, especially after the last 2 weeks. They've been really, really, really strong, the second half especially.
So that is the updated league table. As you can see, Exeter on 66 points, top of the tree, unassailable. Hartbury, although they have 2 games in hand, the maximum points they can score is 64. Exeter confirmed as BUCS Super Rugby League champions 2019 as Cardiff continue to press. It's in the hands of Sabri. He's got 3 tries this season already. How that 4th would be so important to him, so important to Cardiff. In the last play, Davies offloads, and there's a knock-on. During it all, McMeekin, he hasn't had enough. He gives it to Mboj, who puts the ball out of play, and the scenes of jubilation can commence because Exeter University are BUCS Super Rugby champions 2019. Cardiff came down to try and spoil the party, but Exeter have none of it.
Yeah, great composure. It was a really tough first half and Cardiff were all in the game, but that shows the strength of this Exeter squad. You know, they marched out second half, and the replacements that came on, they made a big impact as well. So credit to Exeter. Congratulations on the win.
What's the thought?
What? He's sprinting. What is he? He's old.
Okay, well, welcome down here, guys, to pitchside, and with the losing coach Alan Wynne, you come up against an unbelievable side here today. You acquitted yourself well, but just falling short.
Yeah, it was. I don't think this particularly helped. We had no space by the looks of it. They didn't compete in the rucks. We do play on the edges, so that was difficult. I thought we played very well first half. Again, something happened second half. I'm unsure about. Again, something we will address. But yeah, there's a lot of things I could pick holes in our guys, but also there's a lot of positives from that perspective. Emotionally, it was probably difficult because Exeter, this was their game. For us, well, we all know what we've done and achieved this year by staying up. But Exeter, to me, they're just physical. I mean, they're a battering ram. As I said, they've been in this league for 2 to 3 years now, and that shows. So for our guys, they need to lick their wounds, and potentially there's going to be a game. We're going to be possibly back here in 2 weeks. So, but yeah, it's hats off to them. As I said, they deserve the winners.
And just looking at Cardiff season, obviously 1 try shy of the bonus, so you'll be watching Twitter, I imagine, this evening for the Bath versus Loughborough clash.
Yeah, as we spoke at this before the game, yes, it's brilliant. By-product into potentially the quarterfinals. That wasn't our objective this year. I said our objective was to stay in this brilliant league and to come places like this in the next 18 months and to topple people like this. But we don't know which enemy. We just did error after error the second half, and we just gifted them territory. You give a team like this territory, that's their game. They kick to the corner, they pick and go, they maul. So that's their game. Our game is obviously very different to that. So as I said, it's a hard pill to swallow. But it's something we will certainly address now coming to the end of this game.
But just one last word on today's winners and the league champions. They're worthy champions of the league, would you say?
It's a crazy league, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, as I said, we had them down our place, and they scored 4 or 5 of their tries from driving lineouts. So as I said, it's they are. I mean, as I said, they've done it back to back now. Obviously, a little bit upset with I'll sack the defence coach, which is myself. But as I said, it's the tries that came again were from that tight aspect. That's something that we have to learn. As regards to Exeter, yeah, I mean, tip their hat. As I said, they held their nerve and they scored some great tries second half from pick and goes and drives.
Well, Alan, we've loved watching you and your boys all season. Maybe we'll be seeing you in the playoffs, pendant on how Bath and Loughborough get on. I know you want to get back with the lads.
Ripped my hand as well.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh my days. Oh my days, stop. Stop please, you're going to kill me. Literally, they're just, honestly, they're crazy, but they are great. I love them. Too crazy. Yeah, do you think of that? Yeah, I would. Nice. So much. I started thinking before every session.
What's it do? Finding all the nice smells and being like, oh yeah.
So down here, pitch side, with today's victors, the worthy league champions in a mad, crazy league where every team can beat everyone else. Exeter are the ones who come out on top. They had to fight all the way. It looked like it would be a cakewalk for them a few weeks ago, but a couple of stumbles against Bath and Durham. But victory today against Cardiff means they are the champions 2019. You can see what it means to this group of players who fought tooth and nail since the league began all the way back in October. 18 games, 12 wins, 16 bonus points, 66 points, unassailable at the top of the tree. League champions and ranked #1 going into the playoffs, which will lead to Twickenham hopefully for Exeter looking to do a double.
And yeah, we can go gym later. I told Josh to.
It's not really for me.
Well, we have to.
Where'd you park?
Nigel. No, I've got work to do, mate.
Okay, well here we are pitch side with a couple of victors and the trophy on display. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's class. Like, you know, the whole season, that's what we've been building towards. Obviously, you got the cup next, but like, take one thing at a time. It's pretty class to win this. So, yeah, it's pretty decent. Pretty pleased. Bit of relief after the last few weeks, but we got there in the end. So, credit to the boys, and that's what it is about.
Yeah, I hate to dwell on the negatives, but it's certainly been a bit of an unexpected wobble in the last couple of weeks. A lot of people thought that you'd have it wrapped up by now. So, how's that pressure felt, been building coming up towards this game?
I suppose that just sums the league up in itself the whole year. Sort of, there's been sort of games you think go different ways throughout the whole season, but yeah, obviously it's had a bit of pressure, but also adds a bit of buzz to it. So if you use it right, hopefully like we did today, produces the goods. So that's what's happened. A bit shaky in the first half, but came out good in the second half. So.
Well, you mentioned about everybody capable of beating everybody in the league. Does that make winning the league in its entirety probably a bit more special, that there's literally anyone can beat anyone on their day?
Oh yes, definitely. I think it puts a bigger target as well on your back. But the competitions this year is great. Like every week's a tough competition that everyone looks forward to playing. So probably doesn't help that if we do this, it makes more of a target. But you know, it's better for us. We just take confidence into the cup competition now, and look forward to it.
So speaking of the cup competition, we'll talk to Jack. We don't want him just standing there on the extremity like a gooseberry. That you're potentially going to play either Cardiff or Loughborough, depending on how they got on against Bath today. How do you feel about playing either Cardiff again in a replay here or your old enemies Loughborough?
I think you've just got to take it as it comes. Like, it's knockout rugby now, so you know it's our fourth year now. So you know, you've got to take every game as it comes. It's your last chance. You know, if you lose, then you that's it, done. So we'll be gunning for it. You know, we've got a week off next week, and then we'll be training hard, and we'll see how it goes from there. So take it as it comes.
So awesome to win the league, but it feels to me that this is very much the first piece of the puzzle, and you're hungry to get to Twickenham, having missed out last year.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. I think every team in the BUCS Super League wants to win the league, but that BUCS gold at Twickenham's something special. That, you know, this is special, but that in its entirety in a cup competition is it's just class. Play yeah, exactly. Play at HQ, have a good time after.
So it'll be muted celebrations this evening then, will it? Because you've got the cup to think about.
I don't know. There's rearranged games next week. Obviously we're all done, so maybe enjoy tonight, and then we look at it towards the end of the week, sort of what we need to do after. So should be good.
Excellent stuff, chaps. Worthy champions. I'll let you get off to celebrate with the lads. Well done, boys. And Keith, can I have a quick word?
How are you?
Keith, shake hands. Nice to get you on camera as always.
Smile.
Wow, it's like Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote usually trying to get you onto camera. But a big smile and a relieved smile.
Yeah, it is a bit of relief really. I mean, the boys used up all their knives. all 9 lives to get to the point we led the last league game of the season to put the back-to-back league seasons. So I am pleased now. Yeah, we've worked hard to stay up to that end and got our just rewards today.
Do you think putting yourself under the pressure that you have done coming into this fixture might stand you in good stead coming into the playoffs?
I really hope so, but I mean there's an awful lot in this game that we've just played that are serious work-ons, because knockout rugby is exactly what it says on the tin. You make one mistake and you're out, you know. So we've got to be on our straps really when we come to knockouts.
Yeah, I just said to George and Jack that this feels very much the first piece of a two-part puzzle that you're looking to achieve this season.
It would be very nice, but we've got to really perform. That, you know, there's a lot of very good teams in this league, and you've got to be at your best.
Yeah, I imagine I'm going to get a diplomatic answer for this, but who would you rather, Cardiff or Loughborough in the quarter-final?
I don't really care, actually. I don't care who we have. It's going to be, if you're going to be the best, you've got to beat the best. So who's ever up in front of us, we'll go for it.
Keith, thanks so much. Great pleasure as always across the league. Thank you, Keith. So we are probably going to have difficulty finding our man of the match, number 12, Will Hollis, because the Exeter team have just left the cage and they are wildly celebrating down by the AstroTurf. So we'll see if we can track them down, but they might be a little bit too distant for us. In fact, having had a glance across the vista, you can only see beer spray and champagne spray and the trophy being thrown aloft, and it's worthy celebrations. It's been a tough old season, 18 rounds of fixtures. As I said, 84 fixtures have taken Exeter to this point to be top of the tree, one of the most fiercely contested leagues in England. Now, Exeter's slogan is probably the best university in the world. Well, today they are definitely the best rugby university in the UK, and they will celebrate with the playoffs in mind. They're ranked first, they're top dogs today. Exeter University, BUCS Super Rugby champions 2019. Thank you so much for joining us throughout this season of the league, but the action does not stop there. We are going to be back on your screens in a couple of weeks with the playoffs, quarterfinals, semi-finals, climaxing for our big day at Twickenham. The only place to watch it is down the stream, so do not miss it, and we will see you next time. Good night.
It was so much easier because I had already set up on the app about 3 months ago actually when it first came to the island.
I really like how simple it was to use.
It's the kind of convenience we want in this modern age that we live in.
Like, you don't really want to carry your passport around on night out, you're always going to have a phone on you.
The convenience to be able to go up and get my phone and just scan a thing.
It's just easy, you have all your stuff in one place.
And it makes life a lot easier when you're trying to prove your age and quite versatile as well.